I'm out to play.
It's hard to forget this iconic line from The Warriors, a 1979 film about rival gangs in New York City. The cult classic is entwined in hip-hop culture and was the inspiration for a new concept album, a collaboration between Lin-Manuel Miranda and Eisa Davis.
Who ruled this madness? Get it up, get it up.
It's such a cultural touchstone for hip-hop. I can't tell you how many hip-hop songs quote The Warriors, even to LL's newest album that just came out a couple weeks ago.
Spirit of Cyrus. Track.
Yeah, openings with a Warrior sample.
Now there ain't but 20,000 police in the whole town. Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
I could dig it.
The action starts in Van Cortlandt Park in the Bronx. Delegations from the city's biggest gangs meet up under a truce to discuss how powerful they could be working together.
He's the one! The Warriors did it!
But as shots are fired, the Warriors are falsely accused, and the struggle for survival begins. The Warriors now fighting their way back to their home turf in Coney Island, Brooklyn.
I saw this movie unsupervised at age 4. It really was my first kind of mental map of New York. After I was done with Hamilton, thinking about what I wanted to do next, it was already there raising its hand. Here are a lot of things we can do to make it really interesting to write, starting with the gender flip of making it this group of women who have to fight their way against every gang who thinks they've done something they haven't, all the way from the Bronx back to Coney.
The thing that really drew me in was seeing that there is this amazing meeting of all of these gangs all over the city who are coming together with the promise of peace, that there could be a truce and that they wouldn't have to fight each other in the city. And so that was the thing that I just like latched onto, and I thought, how is it that we can really amplify that message?
Well, as long as you come in peace, I can vouch for your safe release. We extend our protection to those we know.
Can we talk about the artists on this album? Yeah. I mean, it is really like the best of the best. The best of Broadway, the best of rap and R&B.
Yep.
Hip hop.
It's also an answer to the question, why a concept album? I could never get all these people in one room at the same time.
You never know, man. You never know.
There's just no way. Because these are all world-class artists, many of whom are on tours of their own.
Kim Dracula is just, from Australia and then traveling everywhere.
Shensia is on a never-ending world tour for reggae domination. We know we can't get you in a studio in a workshop process, but we can get you in a studio for an afternoon. The artists you hear on the album were like, I love that movie. I've never heard of that movie, but I love this song. And I understand what you're trying to do.
It was huge for the MCs in particular that we got, and for Miss Lauryn Hill, they only do their own writing, right? They only rap their own lyrics, so it's a very big deal.
Yeah, they place a lot of trust in us because they're like, I say my own words.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Busta said. He was like, I have never done this before. I have never rapped anyone else's lyrics. So it's huge.
I know it's a compliment towards the two of you because you're bringing in authenticity to, the world that I come from, which is Broadway and musical theater. And you're pairing that, which is so special.
We've got like metal, we've got R&B, rock, hip hop, dance hall, you know what I mean? It's just, and salsa, it's just, it reaches so many people and it has this very deep response for people.
I want to go back to 2008 because I remember that Tony season very well.
But wait.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It was In the Heights versus Passing Strange, and you were either on one side or the other. I feel like I was on both.
Uh-huh.
I was neutral territory.
Well, that's the thing. So were we. Like, we met off Broadway, and we were huge admirers of each other's show. Stu started writing Passing Strange around the same time I started writing In the Heights in 2000. Like, they were in development the same time. Yeah. We loved each other's shows. I mean, as evidenced by the fact that we all continue to work together. That's when we became friends.
We just loved each other's work so much.
And I think when you work with a collaborator, I think that the sign that you're on the right track is that you feel avenues opening instead of closing. You're like, oh, and we could do this, and we could do this, and we could do this. And that's how this has been for the past few years, just writing with Eisa.
Cruise of the city.
I think what we've made, you know, her coming to the film as a newcomer and me having the movie in stone tablets in my head and having no critical distance from it whatsoever. Like, we kind of meet in the middle.
Which is where our audiences will be, right? They're going to be all of the stands for the film and then all the people who are new to it. Yeah. And I think we are able to, you know, represent both of them as we write.
The million-dollar question, is this going to be on Broadway?
I think we would love it. And yet, it's not our concern at the moment. We really want this to be an album that everyone experiences as such. We want people to have listening parties where they get together in the way that you might go to see something on stage, but to do that like at home, you know, and just listen to the album together uninterrupted.
I think that it's been incredibly rewarding to explore musicalizing this story by thinking of it as an album. It sets us free in a lot of ways, but to not think about staging, to not think about, you know, what's the cast size, what's the budget. We're kind of open to a future theatrical life for it, but we don't have any plans.
This is the sound of something being born.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest news and weather updates every 10 minutes and more. We'll see you then.